All right, welcome to the next series of videos. So in this video, we're going to cover the checkout workflow. So we've just designed up and prototyped the login and sign up workflows. We did the shopping workflow, and now we're going to get through the checkout workflow. And to see what that looks like, we're going to go through the prototype here. So we've already done this. We've created the sign up and the login. You can put your email and your password in. You've logged in. It's loading the application. You have all the boba tea. This is what we did in the last video. We created all the boba tea flavors here that you can select from. If you tap on the regular milk tea here, you can see we made the milk, the regular sweet, and the medium ice drop-down selections, the topping selection buttons, and we've also prototyped the X, which closes that. Open it back up. We made a mobile drop-down selection like you see here. If you select semi-sweet, it changes to semi-sweet. You can select the large tapioca. You can do the add. And then on this video, we're going to build out and design up the checkout workflow. So if I tap on the shopping icon, I'm now experiencing the checkout experience, where it's showing me, the application shows me my selection, which was, I had my milk tea. My quantity was 1. I can edit, remove these if I want to here. I can close this, go back. And if I'm ready, after I see my totals, the delivery fees, the taxes, I can go to the next. You can see that that screen slides in from the left to the right, and the back slides back. We'll make that prototype transition as well. You can put in your address. These are components that we already made, so it should be pretty simple and quick to make these. Press done, go to the next. And again, if I want to go back, I can go back all the way to the beginning. I can close. It's a very common interaction pattern that we use in mobile devices. You have to slide up with the X. Now I can go into a series of back buttons, grab my address. I can put in my payment information, press done. I see the total, I pay, it's confirming payment. And then I can see my boba tea being delivered to me with a series of screens that have the time duration transition effect. Now you can see the final screen. My boba tea has arrived, and I press OK, got it, and I'm back at the screen here. So we'll work through that in this video. So let's go back over to our Figma file that we created here. You can go into the learning page that I have here. And we want to start prototyping up what it looks like when somebody clicks or the user taps on this checkout icon here on the tab bar. So let's go grab from the beginning here. Let's go grab this loading screen here. Command C, and come over here and Command V, paste it, and let's move it in position here. Let's call this checkout. So again, just click on the artboard, click on the layer on the left, and type in checkout. And let's go ahead and remove everything that we have there. One of the things we're going to need for this screen is we're going to need the X. So let's grab that X and paste it. Let's tab to the prototype, make sure that it doesn't have any prototype, pre-existing prototype links already set to it, and it does. So let's just go ahead and grab that, just drag it off and let go. Now that X doesn't do anything on the prototype. And on the final prototype here, you can see what we're looking to design up here. Is we want to have the checkout title, the regular milk tea with the predefined selections, the quantity with the ability to add more than one, edit and remove buttons, and then we want to put in these totals here that we have. So let's go ahead and design up this section here. We'll probably copy and paste these and make it easy. But let's start with the checkout tab at the top there. So let's grab this regular font here. Let's just copy and paste it here. Let's make it white. Let's center it, and we'll put it here, call this checkout. All right, and this was already at a 16-point color style or text style, so that's good. Reuse that. Let's go ahead and center this a bit. That looks good there. All right, and let's go ahead and copy this now. Let's change the alignment from a centered paragraph alignment to a left align. That looks good. And let's call this the regular milk tea. We had 16-point, and we also made a 14-point bold. Let's go make this a 14-point bold. That looks good. All right, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to hold Option, click and drag, and hold Shift. Remember, Shift keeps things from moving out of alignment like that. If I hold Shift, I can no longer do that. And let's go ahead and see when I stretch the height of this text box, it was defaulting to a middle alignment for the text. Let's do top alignment. That just moves it to the top of the text box. That looks good. And the selections that we had for this regular milk tea was we had milk, we had a semi-sweet, and we also had the, let's go back here and take a look, medium ice. And then we also had the large tapioca. All right, let's make these a little bit bigger. Let's go grab our, let's make this our 19-point. Yeah, that looks good. Let's do 19-point light. Yep, that looks good there. And then let's make this the lighter gray color, the cool gray that we made. All right, that looks good. All right, at this point, I'm going to use the quick key Command R, or go to the Shape tool here and go to Rectangle. I'm going to hold Shift, click and drag, and make a rectangle box here in the center. Kind of like that. We can make this about 60 by 60 here. And let's make this also the cool gray. So select the cool gray that we made earlier. All you got to do there is click on the 4 dots where it says Fill. Here's all our color styles, cool gray. And let's pull back the opacity of this to about 30. That looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and make a text box about the same size of this rectangle here. Type 1. Let's make this white. You can select our pre-existing color styles, make it white. And here's a case where I do want it to be in the center paragraph alignment, but also in the middle of the text box. And let's go ahead and make this the 42-point. Now we'll see what 22 looks like. Yeah, let's go make this 42-point. I'm also going to copy the regular milk tea and move that over to the right and just type in Q2Y for the quantity. And go ahead and make the text box the same width. And there you go. You can see the quantity there. All right, next thing up is you can grab the X that we made here. Click and copy it. You're just copying the component. And let's go back and reverse this. So go back and make it a regular, not 90 degrees. And you can see now we have the plus symbol. I'm going to copy it over here and make it the minus symbol. Since you haven't clicked anything yet, the user, this is disabled. So let's go make this the cool gray color and pull this back about 20% opacity, maybe like 40% opacity. So that would enable if you were to add more than one. You can go up to 2, 3, and then go back to 2 to 1. Okay, and then let's copy this regular milk tea here, and let's make a button for the edit. And since this is tappable, this is something that you can engage with on the product. Let's make it the primary action color. You can see that here. And I also want to make one for the remove. And to make a little bit of spacing here, or a little visual hierarchy here, let's make a line in between these two. So I just grabbed the line tool. You can also quick key that is L. And let's also make this the cool gray and tone it back to about 20% opacity. Well, maybe 30% opacity there. All right, pretty simple checkout page that we're building out. Let's go have some fun and prototype this here. So if you select the one and the circle and the shopping cart icon and do a Command G, which is group, or you can right click and go to group selection. Let's go to the prototype tab here and let's drag this little GUI prototype arm to the checkout screen here from the shopping experience that we have. We want it to be on tap. We want it to be move in here, move in, and we want it to come from the bottom, so it moves up. And now for the X, let's go ahead and drag that back to the shopping screen here. And we want that to be move out and move down here. So let's go to our prototype and let's see what that looks like here. I'm going to press the play button or the present button. You may already have the tab open. Just go walk over to that tab. And you can see here when I press the shopping icon, it slides up. The screen slides up. And when I press the X, it slides down. Very nice. If you want to add more screens to make it to show what it looks like, if you added more numbers here and press edit remove, feel free to do that. I usually choose not to do that for these. Just it's more about teaching you the tool, but you can go do that on your own time if you wanted to. At this point, let's just copy up this mount text from the final prototype. You can just select it, copy it. Now that you know how to use the text tool, you can build this out if you wanted to, but let's just go ahead and copy it, speed things up a little bit. And just paste it. Remember to select the artboard. If you just select within the artboard, see how it pastes not in place. But if you select the artboard from the top here and press Command V, it pastes in place from where you copied it. And then we made a line here for this drop-down selection. Let's grab that line. And let's paste that here and give this a section in case you had more than one. All right, at this point, what we can do is we want to have an add or a cancel button that the user can, or next and cancel button that the user can engage with at any point. So if you want to just cancel all the things that you go through in this shopping cart experience, you can have that, and we'll have next buttons here that will help us go to the next page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the add button here. I'm going to make it less wide, and I'm going to copy it over here. And I think the original width might be okay. Let's probably go on the width here about 145 wide. Now I'm going to copy it. That looks about right. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to detach this component. So I'm going to remove it as a component and bring it back to just a design element. So what you do is you right click on the button, well, select the button first, and then right click on it and press detach instance. And you can see it went from a purple boundary box selection to a blue boundary box selection, indicating that it's no longer a component. Now I'm going to change the text to this button here to next, and I'm going to change the text here to this one to be cancel. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this background and I'm going to remove the fill. So see this minus here on the right? I'm going to remove the fill. If I want to add another fill, I just press the plus again. But I want to add a stroke. And I want to make the stroke the primary color that we had. So you can see here has the two. I'm going to move these a little bit to the left, just center them up. And now we have a primary button and a secondary button. So let's go make this secondary button a component so we can reuse it. So again, I've grabbed the cancel button. I go to the component library page here on the left. And I paste it into that page. I'm going to select everything, go to the diamond icon here at the top, create components, and where that says primary button, let's call it secondary. And let's change the word cancel to just text, be generic. Let's go back to our learning page here, and let's go place that component, that cancel button component, into these pages. So I press the Assets tab at the top left here by the layers. I can see the secondary button here. I click and drag it into the prototype. Paste it right on top of that cancel button. Delete the cancel button. I select the artboard here at the top, press place. Nope, it didn't paste in place. 1 second. So there we had the cancel button. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it in the artboard. Usually if you don't originally paste this button in the artboard itself, it won't paste in place like it happened before. So let me go ahead and move this down. Okay, now that's right on top of the cancel button. I'm going to Command C. And now I'm going to select that cancel button, which is not the component, and delete it. And now I'm going to select the artboard, paste in place, and then change the text of this component, now making it an instance of that component, and call it cancel. All right, so let's go ahead and make the cancel button go back to the original shopping screen here that doesn't have the notification for the shopping cart. And we still want the same interaction here to slide this page down. So you can see when I click it, it slides down. And we want the next button to go to the next series of pages here. So if we go back to the Layers tab here and we look at the final prototype, the next series of pages here is to set up my address. So the delivery of the boba will end up at my address that I input here. So we're going to have the back arrow here. So let's go back to our learning page. Let's grab this artboard here. Let's hold Option, click and drag and hold Shift, and let's copy this page. At this point, we're going to grab the arrow icon. So if you go to the design goods that I created over here and grab this arrow icon, press Command C. And we'll keep the X here for now just for positioning of the arrow. Click on the checkout screen that we're on right here, the new one that we copied. Let's go ahead and name this one Address. So I clicked on the artboard, double clicked on the address layer on the left, and I can change the name. I'm going to paste this in place, or paste this into the artboard. Place it right around position of the X. Copy it, delete the X, press the address artboard at the top here, and paste that arrow. Now let's call this address here. And let's go ahead and remove all of these elements here. So let's prototype this. So the next screen here is going to go to the address screen. But in this case, we're still going to have it be on tap here. but we're going to move in instead of move out. Yours might be on instant or smart animate. Let's create move in, and we want this one to slide in from the left to the right, and we want the back arrow here to move out, but instead of coming in from the left, we want it to come in from the right, so it moves to the right. So moving in allows this address screen to move in from the left, and when we say move out, it allows this screen that we've selected to move out of the way, and we want it to go right. So sometimes if it gets unclear of how these work, just make these selections and then go into your prototype and go play with it in the prototype, and it helps you define how those are working for you. So you can see the next, this is going to slide in this address page. If I want to go back, I can go back. And it's a pretty common interaction to see this slide up, see the X, go next, and now we enter a series of back buttons and back screens. Okay, so at this point we need to put the address information in. So I'm going to go back to some of the components that we've already had. So if you remember, we built out on the asset screen here, we built out some form default components. So let's grab that component. Let's click and drag it onto the artboard. There was one of the defaults. Let's call this one address. And since this application knows my name already, I've already logged into it, and I've signed up previously and gave it my name. Let's go grab the focus form field here. And you can see if you click on a component, it will take you to that component. If you click and drag, that's how you use it on the artboard here. So I already have an input form that I've created that we've already have the one that is a focus state input. So let's go ahead and say name here, and we'll pre-populate this with my name. And let's go ahead and change the text to all lowercase. All right, and now we have the address field. Since this is an application that only works in San Francisco, we're going to type in San Francisco, and we're going to make this 30% opacity so that, actually before we do the San Francisco, we need to put the apartment or the suite here. Okay, and now since this isn't an application that's only used in San Francisco, let's type in San Francisco as a city, and let's go ahead and default that or make the opacity 30% opacity so it's disabled. The address has to be within San Francisco. All right, and then let's go ahead and see how Figma does that. It gives you all the spacing attributes, so it's equally distributing these form fields for us at 20 pixels each. And we had the state, California. And the next thing we had here was, let me make sure this is equally distributed here. We had the phone number here. All right, pretty simple since we've already had these components built out. I'm going to double check with the final page. Yep, looks about right. And we already have this prototyped up, so you can see here's what that looks like. I go next. Now we have the address. I'm going to copy this address. I'm holding the Option, clicking on the artboard and Shift. And I'm going to double click on the layer of this artboard and just call it address 1. All right, so at this point, I'm going to copy the keyboard that we have from the login. Just Command C. I'm going to select the address, Command V, and bada bang, bada boom. We have the keyboard screen now. So let's go ahead and just pre-populate all three of these here. So as you can see, I have the component for the active input state already for these form fields. So I'm just going to copy this, holding Option, Shift, and dragging it, and just get this over to the top of all of the phone number and the apartment and the address. So I'm going to Command C now, copy these, and I'm going to delete the apartment, the phone number, and I'm going to go select the artboard again, Command V, and place those here. So at this one, that paste in place. Now I have the address. I'm going to type in the address, and we're just going to put like 111 on Oboba Street. And we'll do here was apartment / suite. And let's just do 123 for the apartment. And then we had the phone number here. Go ahead and grab Aaron Lawrence here. And let's do 111-222-5555 as a phone number. Okay, at this point, this go button, we need to make this say done. So if you select the go, let's go ahead and change the text back over to Roboto so we can change it, and press double click into the text box and call it done. And what that will do is it won't allow you to move forward. It will just slide the keyboard down and you can go to the next button here and move on to the next screen. So at this point, I'm going to hold Option. I'm going to click and drag this mobile prototype or mobile artboard and make a duplication of it. You can see how smart Figma was. It noticed that I copied this artboard, and when I let go, it changed the address from 1 here to 2. It noticed that I was numbering artboards, so it just automatically started to number incrementally my artboard. Very smart tool. I'm going to delete the keyboard, and now let's prototype this up. So I'm going to go back to my prototype tab here at the top right. I'm going to click on it, and let's go ahead and click on the address, the apartment, and the phone number here. Let's do a Command G or a right click and just group these as one selection. And go ahead and drag the prototype GUI arm to the next address 1 screen. And we want on tap, but we just want instant. No, we don't want any fancy stuff happening here. At this point, let's go ahead and select the done button here and click and grab the GUI arm, click it to the artboard address 2, and on tap, and again, instant, nothing fancy. Okay, so now what happens if you tap anywhere in the address, the apartment, or the phone number is you get the keyboard. We're just going to auto-populate it for now in the artboard. If you want to make individual screens for each one, you now know how to do that. And then if you press done, it takes the keyboard down and we can move to the next screen here, which is inputting your credit card details. All right, so again, I'm going to copy this address one here, holding Option. I select the artboard, click on it, hold Option until I get the double arrow, click and drag, Shift. Or again, I could just copy it and I can Command V and it will paste it for me. So Command C and Command V. Let's call this one payment and call it 1. And let's relabel the top here to payment. And let's go into our prototype tab here, right here. Let's grab the arrow, because the arrow now will go to address, where before this arrow was going to the checkout. Now the back button and the arrow will go to the payment screen. So again, nothing fancy. We just want on tap. Oh, and we want it to move out. Yep, correct. And we want it to move to the right. So let's go ahead and delete some of these here. And let's go see what that looks like on the prototype. So now I press next. Oh, that didn't work. So let's see what happens here. Oh, we didn't connect the next button to this screen. So let's grab next, and let's grab the prototype GUI arm, connect it to payment 1, and we want it to move in here. So we want on tap, move in, and we want it to come in from the left. And then we want the arrow here on move out, and we want it to come out from the right. So let's go back through that. Here's our checkout. We got next. Here's the address information, the phone number. Press done. I press the next button, and this page is going to come in from the left. It's going to move in from the right. You can see that. And then this screen here is going to move out to the right. So you can see how that moved left. Our next button here says this page is going to move in from the left, and the arrow here connecting to the address to screen is going to move out of the way to the right. And that's what that looks like. Move in, move out. Okay, let's go look at the payment details. What we had here was we had the address details at the top. So let's go ahead and grab the regular milk tea and the sweet the semi-sweet and medium ice text here. Let's just paste it directly in the same spot on the payment screen. And let's just change this to delivery. Or deliver to. And let's just input the information that we did on the last screen here. So we have my name, we have Aaron Lawrence, we have 111 Boba Street, and we have number 111 or 123 for the apartment, and we have the phone number, which was 111-222-5555. All right, cool. So at this point, let's drag up another one of these form components that we made. So if we go to the asset screens on the left here, oops. Go to the asset screens on the left. Let's grab the form default. Pop that onto the artboard here. And this is going to be name on card. And I'm going to copy this one as well. Let's do the 20 spacing. And this is going to be card number. And then drag, click, hold Option and Shift. Copy this card number one here. And let's call this one the expiration date. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the line element. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a rectangle here and just make a black one. And I can also just click the eyedropper, click the background so it's the same color as the background, and just keep that to hide this form document here. What happens when you create a symbol and you have an instance is I can create the style, I can change the styles of it. Like I can change the color, can change the grays here, can change the styles of that component. but I can't actually manipulate it. Like I can't go into this line here and make different widths of the line. You can see it still didn't let me do that. So it keeps it pretty true to the component. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of faking it. You can see I have that long line. I don't want that line there because I want to put the CVV on top of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this expiration date. I'm going to paste, I'm going to right click, move this to the front, and I'm going to call this one the CVV. Just a small field here for 3 numbers. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a black box here and just layer it over the top. I can press I to get a quick key to get the eyedropper and select the background, and now I have the black. And so you can see I still have the components I'm using, but I've created space for them. And that way, if I ever want to change this component master, I didn't detach these 2 components and have to come back in and rechange these. Okay, cool. So at this point, let's go ahead and put the total that we had. So we created a total element here. And we've shown the total here as well, which is 949. And it's best practices before you purchase anything is to see the total in which you're purchasing here. Put that centered, and we had 49 as the total here. Let's go ahead and change this button to pay. And now we're in pretty good shape. So now that I press the back button and I put all the address information in, I press next. Now I'm on the payment screen here, and I'm almost done with the payment. So let's go populate these really quick using the forms that we created that are at the active state. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this payment artboard. I'm clicking on the artboard, holding Option and Shift, dragging it to the right, and I've made a copy of it. I'm going to go to my assets here. I'm going to grab my components that I've created. So remember this form focus active state that we have. And I'm just going to replace all of these here with this component. So I'm just going to layer them right on top of each other for right now. And I'm going to grab all 4 of them, Command C. I'm going to delete these ones here. And I'm going to replace the active ones here. All right, so you can see here I need to put this form underneath the rectangle so it gives it some space. And I also need to grab the rectangle that I created here. So you can see how I do that is I click and drag from the right. That selects all the elements here. So I can select more than one element, select all these elements. Really, I'm just trying to get to these 2. I'm trying to get to this input form field and this rectangle here. So now I have those 2. Now I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to click on the title input component here for the CVV. And now I've deselected that and I just have the rectangle here. So now that I have that selected, I'm going to click the rectangle on the layer panel on the left. And I'm going to move that above this component. All right, so let's go ahead and change these up. So we had name on card. And I'll just use my name for now. I'm not going to put my card details in, but I'm going to change the text here to original case. And then we had the card details, or the numbers. So card number. And then go ahead and hold Option and press the letter 8. Hit 4, make 4 bullets, make another 4 bullets, and then just go 1, 1, 1, 1. It always exposes the one on the left, the last 4 of those digits. Here I'm going to select the expiration date. And I'm going to put, let's say 01, 2020. And I'm going to do the CVV here. CVV, and let's do 1, 2, 3. Cool. All right, at this point, we need the keyboard also. So let's just grab the keyboard here that we created for the address artboard, paste it onto the payment artboard that we have here. All right, and we're in good shape now. So let's go ahead and prototype this. Just select all of these components that we made here. Go to the prototype tab. You want to group these. Go ahead and right click, go to group selection or Command G, and go ahead and arrow this to this, grab the little arrow GUI to this artboard here. So you can see it's connected to that artboard. We don't want anything fancy, just on tap. When you do move in, it's just instant, and that opens up the keyboard. We'll just pre-populate all these form fields. And then I'm going to copy this one more time here. And I'm going to select the Done button. I'm going to drag the little prototype GUI arm to the Payment 3 screen. And on this interaction here, we just want on tap, instant, and we're going to delete the keyboard. And then here we have the pay button going somewhere. We don't want that working right now. And we also have it here. You have choices on your UX here for this. You could make this 30% opacity until you fill out all the information. Once you fill it all out, it goes full opacity. You can keep it 100% and then make error states for these, where you get a little, like, the line turns red and it says, you know, look like something like this. And the lines go red, indicating that there's still information to be filled out. Little things to think about in your UX. If you're curious about any UX classes, I have a UX class that you can check out too under my name. But for this case, I just want to teach you a mobile application experience and how to use Figma to build that out. All right, so let's move on. We have that prototype. Let's go check that out. So I click on the names here, pre-populate, have the keyboard, press done, and now I'm ready to pay. So the next thing we want to do here is we want to grab that loading screen that we had here. Let's go ahead and grab the one that we made here in the beginning after you logged in. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to just pan over to this section. Press Command V, and I've placed that artboard into my layouts. I'm going to keep the loader GIF, animated GIF here, and just delete the logo. And I'm going to copy up, actually I'm going to just grab this delivery text, grab this loading screen, and see how it's left aligned. I want it centered aligned now. And I just want to center it right underneath that loading GIF now. I also want to keep the text boundary box the same width of the artboard. And when I have that and the centered paragraph width, it keeps this text directly in the center. And let's go ahead and change this to submitting payment. Just like so. Okay, so at this point, we can just select the pay button, click the prototype, and we want on tap. Nothing fancy here, just an instant. Just go straight to submitting payment. And let's go see what that looks like. So you click on the pay, and now you're in the screen where it's submitting payment. Okay, so to finalize our checkout workflow experience, we want to show the boba tea in real time being delivered to your address with a series of screens and eventually getting delivered here at the end. Okay, cool. So let's go back to our learning page tab here. And let's copy up this loading screen. And let's change the name of this loading screen to delivery. And we'll do delivery 1. Let's just click outside the artboard, just click and drag to select the loading gift and the payment and just delete it. And remember we had this map here of San Francisco. Let's go grab this map. So if you just remember, you just click on it, already cropped it. It's already in the right position. Just Command C. And then go over to this delivery 1 artboard. Select the artboard and Command V. It will paste right in place. All right. And the next thing is let's go to our design goods artboard over here on the left. And let's grab this little boba icon with the white circle behind it. Command C. Let's copy it. Let's paste that somewhere on our application. Let's say maybe here. And now let's go grab the map pin icon here. And again, like I'd explained in the last video, if you want lots of icons, just go to the nounproject.com, type in map icon, and you can get a whole bunch of these little map pins that you want, or even just type in map pin. And you get a whole bunch of these here if you wanted. All right, so I have one here on the design goods artboard. Just go grab that, Command C. And then I'm holding Shift again as I click and drag. Come over to the final artboard here that we have. Let's place the map icon. Let's do somewhere, we'll say like somewhere here. It's fine. Okay. And then the next tool I want to teach you here is the pin tool. So that's this little pin section here. This is a drawing tool, and it allows you to create any custom shape that you would like. You can see I can just go around, and it's sort of like connect the dots. I can make any shape, connect the dot, I can add a fill. I can press V to get out of it and select the shape, go back to the selection tool, and delete it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a custom line that follows this street from the boba to my map icon here. So let's go grab the pin tool. Just press P. Click around the boba icon here. And then you can see it follows your mouse. Go ahead and click again where you see the street. And then follow that street. Click down. It goes a little bit to the right now. Click again, and then connect it to the map icon. Let's change this color to the bright purple, or the bright pink, action pink, and let's change the stroke to 2. Cool. And if you want to manipulate this, you can come in, you can grab these anchor points, and you can move them around. If you select one and press delete on your keyboard, you can delete them. It's how you manipulate that shape. So next thing we need to add is a title at the top that just says delivery. So let's grab our title from the payment page, click on this artboard, press delivery, or paste the payment text. Let's just call it delivery. Do ... Actually, delivering with the ing. There you go. And now let's create a space here for us to put the text of the time intervals on how long this is going to take. So just grab a rectangle here. You can press R as a shortcut or go to the shape tool. And that should be fine there. What do we got here? About 160 height and the width of the iPhone. Let's go ahead and make this black. We can select from our black color styles here. Make that black. And let's put the arriving time. I think we had some big text here. Yeah, we were using this regular and milk tea setting. That was a 42 point and a 22 point text. So let's grab the text tool, do T. You can also just type T on your keyboard as a shortcut. And let's call one text area arrival time. And let's change this to white so you can see it. Let's center it by doing the paragraph center here. And let's make this a 14 point bold. And let's also change the color from a white to the cool gray, kind of like that. All right, next thing we're going to do is let's add 15 minutes. Now let's go ahead and select this color here, and let's make it white, not cool gray. Make it white, and let's make it that 42 point. Yeah, let's make it big. That looks good. All right, one last thing is let's copy the arrival time, and let's just make a need to cancel link. And what that would do is we won't prototype it today, but that will open up, and we're gonna make it 14 point regular. That's going to open up the phone number and inform them to call to cancel this. And let's make this really transparent, like 50%. It's just in case. It's what we call an edge case in the user experience here. I'm going to center all of this now. All right, cool. So at this point, we have the loading screen here. Let's go do the time delay like we've done in the past. Click on the artboard here, drag it to the drag the GUI from the artboard and drag the GUI arm into the delivery one. You can see it automatically defaulted to after delay. If yours is on tap, just make it after delay. And 3,000 milliseconds, which is 3 seconds, is perfect. And we want the instant transition here. So you can see now it goes from this loading page in 3 seconds to the delivery screen here and informing our customer or user that there's 15 minutes left on this. All right, so let's do the 10-minute and then the 5 minutes and then the boba tea is delivered screens. So just copy this screen again. One thing you can do is just select the artboard, go to Edit, Copy, or just Command-C and Command-V. It pastes it for you already. Let's change the text here to 10 minutes. And then let's go ahead and if you click on the line that we made here with the pin tool, if you click on the selection tool here, the move, probably pressing V or just clicking on the move, and then triple click, and you'll get the selections. You'll see the anchor points here. Let's delete the first anchor point, and then let's move this one down a little bit. That looks good. And then just triple click off, and it goes back to normal selection. Let's click the boba tea, move it here. Cool. And now we want to do the same transition. do the delivery 1 artboard and do the time delay. So click the little prototype GUI arm to the delivery 2. We have after delay 30, 3000 milliseconds will be fine. But instead of the instant, let's do the smart animate. All right, and then now let's go do the 5-minute one. So again, I'm copying the artboard again. So now I have delivery artboard 3. I'm going to click into the line tool, triple click, grab the top anchor. Let's go ahead and move it down this way. Grab the boba tea icon, move it down, and then connect this prototype. Oh, we need to change it to 5 minutes here. And now we just connect this delivery prototype here. After delay, same presets. Let's do smart anime. And we have after delay at the top, 3 seconds here. And then now let's go create the screen in which boba tea has arrived. So let's copy the delivery 3 screen into delivery 4 now. Let's remove the map icon. Or before we do that, let's move this boba tea icon right underneath the map icon. And now let's delete the map icon, delete the line, and let's grab the black box that we created and pull it all the way up. And we want this boba tea to be on top of that rectangle. So right click on the boba tea and do bring to front. Now let's make this screen look a little bit different from the other screens by changing the black background color here to the action color here. That way it's really causing some visual break from the existing screens, because something important has happened is the boba tea has arrived. So let's delete the arrival time. Let's grab the cancel text here. Let's make that 100%. Let's make it white. And let's just say, okay, got it. And then let's change this text that says 5 minutes to boba has arrived. Let's add some exclamation points to it. There you go. Okay, and then the okay, got it. Let's just prototype that back to the original shopping screen page that we started from. And then again, same stitch from the last screen, from the 5-minute screen to the boba tea screen. Go ahead and grab the artboard delivery 3, connect it to the artboard delivery 4, do after delay 3 seconds, and let's do smart animate. And let's go check that out. So you can see 15 minutes, and you see, look at the smart anime at work. That looks cool. 5 minutes, and then it slides up. Awesome. Very, very cool. Let's even watch that one more time. So I pay. We have the spinner for 3 seconds. I see that the boba tea is being delivered. 5 more minutes, and boba tea has been delivered. And I click on the OK, got it, or tap on it, and it takes me back to this screen. All right, so that concludes the checkout experience in our prototype. We've gone pretty far, and I want to congratulate you if you've gone through all of this with me. This is a lot to comprehend, a lot to get into, but I hope you're figuring out the inner workings and the inner nuances of working with the design tool Figma. But it does give you some really cool outputs like this prototype that's super fun to play with that we just created. For the next video, here is a pretty quick final video, or not final video, but a quick last video of designing. And it's pretty quick. We're going to design a profile screen. So if you tap on the profile, which I'll show you here in this prototype, the profile icon on the tab bar, it will take you to a profile screen. Let me get through some of this. And you can see here's the profile screen. You can click on the order to see your recent order. And if I click back or tap back on the icon, the boba tea illustration icon, it takes me back to the shopping experience. I can tap back on my profile. I can add a photo of myself if I want to, so the delivery person knows what I look like. I can edit my information, and I can log out, taking me back to the logout page. Okay, cool. That's pretty much it for this video, and hope to see you on the next video where we'll create these profiles. As again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.